Have you ever wondered how international controversy can influence regional tourism? Let's delve into the intriguing case of the India-Maldives controversy and its unexpected impact on Lakshadweep tourism. This video will explore the intricate interplay between political tensions and their ripple effects, specifically focusing on how a diplomatic spat between India and Maldives sparked an unforeseen boom in tourism for the islands of Lakshadweep. We'll dig into the origins of the controversy, its consequences, and the implications for the future. Stay tuned as we unravel this fascinating sequence of events. Our story begins with the onset of a diplomatic rift between India and the Maldives. The genesis of this controversy can be traced back to a series of initial disagreements, gradually escalating into a full-blown diplomatic conflict. The two nations, once close allies, found themselves at odds over a range of issues, from geopolitical alignments and development projects to internal political dynamics. The first signs of discord appeared when the Maldives began to question India's influence in the region. This was a significant departure from the traditionally cordial relations between the two nations. The Maldives, a small island nation in the Indian Ocean, had historically relied on India for economic and military support. However, a shift in the Maldivian government's foreign policy brought this relationship under strain. As the situation became increasingly tense, other factors fueled the flames of the conflict. Disagreements over development projects and territorial disputes further widened the rift. Both nations were uncompromising in their stance, and the diplomatic tussle began to draw international attention. Furthermore, internal political dynamics played a crucial role in exacerbating the situation. The Maldives' domestic affairs began to affect its international relations, particularly with India. Political instability and the rise of anti-India sentiments in the Maldives added another layer of complexity to the conflict. In the midst of this diplomatic standoff, the nations found themselves grappling with the global health crisis. The pandemic brought a new set of challenges, adding pressure to the already strained relations. The management of the crisis and the narrative surrounding it became another point of contention between India and the Maldives. The controversy took an unexpected turn when it began to impact another region, the Lakshadweep Islands. These islands, nestled in the Arabian Sea, became the unintended victim of the diplomatic fallout between India and the Maldives. The increasing tension between the two nations had far-reaching implications, affecting not just the political landscape, but also the lives of the people living in these regions. This diplomatic fallout had unforeseen consequences, especially for a small archipelago in the Arabian Sea. As the conflict between India and the Maldives escalated, a surprising beneficiary emerged: Lakshadweep, a group of islands off the southwestern coast of India. In the midst of the tumult, tourists began to divert their holiday plans from the Maldives to Lakshadweep. The reasons were multifaceted. Some were driven by a desire to avoid the political tensions, while others were simply intrigued by the newfound spotlight on these Indian islands. This sudden diversion was like a gust of wind filling the sails of Lakshadweep's tourism industry. Almost overnight, the islands experienced a surge in visitor numbers. Resorts were booked out months in advance. Local businesses thrived, and the economy started to hum with a vibrancy it hadn't known before. But it wasn't just the influx of tourists that brought about change. The international attention also spurred the Indian government into action. Infrastructure projects were fast-tracked, and efforts to preserve and promote the unique culture and biodiversity of the islands were intensified. It was as if Lakshadweep had been handed a golden ticket. The islands, previously overshadowed by their more glamorous neighbor, the Maldives, were suddenly in the limelight. And while the circumstances that brought about this change were far from ideal, there was no denying the positive impact it had on the island's economy and visibility. Yet, with this sudden boom came challenges. The islands had to grapple with the increased footfall and the environmental impact it brought, not to mention the pressure on local resources. It was a test of their resilience, their ability to adapt and grow, all while preserving the very charm that made them a sought-after destination in the first place. This unexpected shift in tourism dynamics was a mixed blessing for Lakshadweep. While the tourism boom brought economic prosperity to Lakshadweep, it also posed significant challenges. It's a classic story of a blessing that comes with a curse. On one side of the coin, the sudden surge in tourism has brought about an economic renaissance for the islands. The once quiet and serene Lakshadweep is now bustling with activity, with tourists from across the globe flocking to experience its pristine beaches and turquoise waters. The influx of visitors has led to a boost in local businesses, from hotels and restaurants to souvenir shops and tour operators. Jobs have been created, incomes have risen, and there's a new sense of optimism among the islanders. The economic benefits are tangible, and for many, they're a lifeline. But flip the coin, and we see a different picture. The sudden and rapid growth of tourism has also put a strain on the island's natural resources and infrastructure. The increased footfall has led to mounting environmental concerns. The fragile coral reefs, a major attraction for tourists, are under threat from pollution and physical damage. There's also the issue of waste management, with the islands struggling to handle the increase in waste generated by the tourism boom. Moreover, the island's infrastructure is feeling the pressure. There's an increasing demand for accommodation, transportation facilities, and other amenities, which the island's infrastructure is struggling to meet. This has led to hasty and often unsustainable construction activities, further exacerbating the environmental concerns. So it's a delicate balancing act. On one hand, the islands need the economic benefits that tourism brings. On the other, they need to protect their natural beauty and resources, which are the very reasons tourists are drawn here in the first place. The way Lakshadweep manages these challenges will determine its future as a popular tourist destination. It's a complex equation, and finding the right balance will be critical. But one thing's for sure, the choices made today will shape the islands tomorrow. The India-Maldives controversy and its impact on Lakshadweep tourism is a compelling example of how international politics can influence regional economies. As we navigate through the complexities of the global stage, we see the ripple effects of international disputes reaching the shores of local communities. The dispute between India and Maldives, two countries with strong historical ties, has inadvertently boosted tourism in Lakshadweep, an archipelago off the southwestern coast of India. This surge in tourism, while beneficial to the local economy, has also brought about its own set of challenges. As we've discussed, the sudden influx of visitors has put a strain on the region's limited resources and fragile ecosystem. It's a classic case of a blessing that comes with its own set of curses. However, the key takeaway from this situation is the interconnectedness of our world today. A disagreement between nations can have unexpected consequences, influencing areas like tourism and local economies in ways we might not initially consider. International politics and regional economies are intertwined in a complex web, and events on the global stage can cast long shadows, affecting even the most remote corners of our planet. So as we continue to observe the unfolding of international controversies and their impacts, let's remember that these effects can reach closer to home than we might think. And as responsible global citizens, it's incumbent upon us to understand these dynamics and consider their implications in our actions. Next time you hear about an international controversy, remember, its effects may be closer to home than you think. As we conclude our exploration of this intriguing case, we leave you with some food for thought. The India-Maldives controversy, as we've seen, has had unexpected effects on Lakshadweep tourism, showcasing how international affairs can reverberate in our local communities. Looking ahead, the future of Lakshadweep's tourism industry is not set in stone. The controversy that once boosted it could also prove to be its downfall. Tourists may be drawn to the allure of an area embroiled in international intrigue, but they also value stability and safety. Any escalation in tension could deter potential visitors, affecting the local economy that has become increasingly reliant on tourism. Moreover, the controversy highlights the delicate balance between development and preservation. While tourism has brought prosperity to Lakshadweep, it also poses threats to its pristine natural environment and unique cultural heritage. It's a conundrum faced by many destinations worldwide, calling for sustainable tourism practices that respect and protect local communities and their environments. And so, as we reflect on the tale of Lakshadweep, we're invited to consider the broader implications. How do international controversies impact our local communities? How do we balance the drive for economic growth with the need for sustainability? These questions are not just relevant to Lakshadweep, but to all of us, wherever we may be. This story is a reminder that we are all interconnected in this global community. It underscores the importance of staying informed, of understanding the ripple effects of geopolitical events, and of engaging in thoughtful dialogue about the challenges and opportunities they present. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.